We are live. Hey, Gresham.
Hey Chris.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going good.
Hey, man, I know you're having some fun there in uh, Ireland.
Oh yeah, I'm having a blast.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I've seen the pictures that you take and send them in. Pretty sweet looking.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to be able to go to places like this.
Well, now, your family owns a bed and breakfast there, right?
Yes, they have a bed and breakfast called Harbor House right on the ocean, and they're also in the scuba diving business. My Irish step grandfather has been in the scuba diving business for over 50 years, and they operate the scuba diving business on the same property.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Do you scuba dive?
I do. I actually got my certification a couple years ago here.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. I bet it's amazing scuba diving around there, right?
Oh, it is. Of course, I haven't done any this time because water's too cold for me. But
Oh yeah. We know what that's what happens when you get old, Gresham. You just get things get too cold. Well, hey, we're gonna start. We picked out Gresham picked out some of his favorite videos, and so we're gonna play some of your favorites. Uh, what's the first one we're gonna look at?
well, the first one is featuring a group called Taller Than You, and that is actually a group that I joined. I want to say in 2019, and it consists of several. Benjamin Hagwood on hammered dulcimer, and the group was his idea. He's from up in St. Louis, Missouri, and he had come to Mountain View for several years for the hammered dulcimer workshop that they have. And Benjamin came one year and he wanted to enter when they had the Dulcimer contest, they have the individual contest and they have an ensemble contest with a group. And Benjamin wanted to enter that, and he didn't have a group, and he reached out to to a local musician at the folk center, and he was connected with Kaylee, and then Kaylee got me and a few other people to play, and we enjoyed it so much it became kind of a permanent thing. But it's Benjamin Haywood on hammer dulcimer who won second place in the National Hammer Dulcimer Contest a couple of years back. Kaylee Speaks, who has placed in several fiddle contests on fiddle. Her brother, one of her triplet brothers on guitar, I believe it's
Chandler?
Mason.
No, it's
Chandler,
Chandler. Yeah.
Chandler Speaks on guitar and fills in on bass when I'm unable to play. And who else? Grace Dormont has also played with us on banjo for
Yeah.
several years.
And I think Little
And
Page Sims. Yeah.
Little Page, LP Sim has played dobro with us for the past few years, but about a year ago he enlisted in the army
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
had to go off to training and all that. And I think he recently started talking from what I saw on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, Little Page, if you're watching, thank you for your service. We really
But
appreciate it.
this is a song that one of our favorite hoedown tunes that we always enjoy playing. It's called Hangman's Reel.
All righty. Well, I'm going to switch over and we're going to play that and then we'll come back in just a minute. So this is Hangman's
Okay?
Reel by Taller Than You.
I can't.
How about now? Okay.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Alrighty. I got to get used to.
Sorry, folks. We're working out technical glitches here.
I know, boy. This little software that we're using. It's you have to mute this one and then enable that one, and so. But anyway, no worries.
Uh,
Well, I mean, I think Taller Than You is, man, they are just a serious up and coming group. We're great now. Kaylee and Ben are breaking off and forming a little bit of their own little duo group called Blackberry Summer. So they'll be playing
oh,
this
okay.
year, and they're going to be great. They've written some songs together, and so we're looking
I knew
forward
that.
to, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing them. Uh, so what's up next, Grisham?
Well, the next video features the original Flathoof String Band. That is a group I joined several years ago that's actually not active right now. Haven't been active since pre-COVID. I hate to use that word, but anyway, it consists of myself, Michael Sutter on guitar. Wes Kent plays a variety of instruments: mandolin, banjo, guitar, and of course, one of the best dance fiddlers in Arkansas, Mr. Roger Fountain. And this group, I actually became friends with Wes Kent when I joined the First Baptist Church here in Mountain View in 2010. I became good friends with Wes and then with Mike, and we formed this group called the original Flathoof String Band. And Flathoof, I believe, is another name for the jig dancing that is done in the Ozarks.
Yep,
And we
that's right.
played for several years. And this is a lively tune that we always enjoyed called Just Because. And
Alrighty.
it features a lot of Roger fiddling and Mike guitar playing and that sort of thing.
Well, very cool. I know Mike was one of the original guitar players at the Ozark
That's
Folk Center
right, he
Band.
was. Mike actually was originally from Illinois, but came to Arkansas, I believe, in the late 60s. And he actually helped lay the rock for the. He says he helped did a lot of the masonry work on the music theater at the Folk Center, and he toured a lot with Jimmy Driftwood and those early guys that helped get all that started. And he had
Very
a lot
cool.
of good stories from those days.
I bet he does. I bet he does. All right. So this is Just Because, performed by the
Yep.
original Flathoof String Band.
just sung that one. We all played, but sing another one if you want.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to think of. Oh, we're wet. We're guitar.
All righty. All right. Can you hear me, Gresham?
Oh yeah,
Oh, and then are you? Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. And then okay, Gresham, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I gotta turn that up. All right, now I got you.
Do you got okay? Good.
Yeah, I gotta. There's two or three dots. I gotta get my little practice in
Yeah,
there. So anyway, well, very good, man. I love listening to the Roger and Wes. Now Rogers plays for several bands, and uh, and so
he does. Roger started playing at the folk center in 1976.
yeah, yeah. Hang on, okay. I'm sorry, Max is wanting to go out. So
Oh
19. He started playing at the Folk Center in 1976.
yes,
Man, that's awesome. But you know what? He has done a lot for the Music Roots program in this town.
he
He
has.
is really given a lot of his time and a lot of kids. Mary Parker,
She's
Kaylee
one,
has,
and
really helped
Clancy
Clancy.
Ferguson Stewart, another
Hmm.
young musician that grew up around Mountain View
Yeah,
with Roger.
yeah, very cool. All right, well, what's up next?
Well, what's up next is a video featuring last year Arkansas Bluegrass Association Guitar Player of the Year, Mr. Buddy K. I uh,
Country Music
I met
Awards.
Buddy Arkansas Country Music Association. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was their Guitar Player of the Year last year. I first met Buddy years and years back. He came to the folk center with a former group of his called the Acoustic Cats, and I think I was about 15 years old. I was just a kid, and he was amazing to me back then. And I didn't see him again for years and years and years. In fact, we didn't cross paths again until a couple of years ago when I started running sound at the meeting place, and we started
Hmm.
talking again. And last year he started talking to me about doing a show with him. And I thought, wow, that's a great honor because on a musicianship level, I'm here, and Buddy's like way up here.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, he
He's
is pretty
incredible.
tremendous, but you're
But he
pretty
hit me
incredible
up
too,
about
Gresham.
doing a show with him, and of
Hmm.
course that was when you were still on the road driving a truck,
Yeah.
I believe. And he hit me up about doing a show with him. I said, of course, heck yeah, I'll do a show with you. And this is one that he did that I really like, and it's called "What a Wonderful World."
Oh, yeah. What a great song. All right.
It
So
is.
this is What a Wonderful World performed by Buddy Case and
And
Gresham Mc. Oh, go
recently,
ahead.
not long, I want to say, Buddy kind of had some struggles himself. Not long after the last year's Arkansas Country Music Award show, he had a pretty bad stroke,
You did.
and he's still fighting to come back from that. I've seen posts on Facebook where he's starting doing some vocal stuff again, but he's still working on guitar. And buddy, if you get to see this, if you're watching, we're rooting for you.
We are, buddy. We're hoping to
I
see
want to
you.
do another show with you at the meeting place.
Very cool. I'm hoping for a full recovery, buddy. We're all praying
We
for
all are,
you.
buddy.
All righty. Well, this is What a Wonderful World performed by Buddy Case and Gresham
Oh yeah.
McMillon.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful wonderful world. I see skies of blue, oh, clouds of white, the bright blessed days and dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yay. The great Louis Armstrong. They don't make him like him anymore.
About now? All right.
Oh yeah,
We're going to get this thing down one day.
yeah.
Maybe. All righty. Well, that's true. They just don't make it any. They don't make them like Louis Armstrong anymore. That was a great song,
Nope.
Grisham. I really loved your bass runs in there. Sounded
Oh,
great.
thanks. I was kind of.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I could. You probably haven't only played that what once or twice.
I don't think I'd ever played. I think we rehearsed it once before the show that afternoon.
Well, you sounded great. So, well, hey, you were recently featured in the Stone County Living magazine in their fall issue or spring issue, right?
It was the winter issue, I believe.
Oh, winter issue. Okay,
I
yeah,
don't
there you
remember
are.
anyway.
Look at you on the
Yeah,
cover there, man.
yeah. Look
Look
at
at
that.
man, right in front
Looked at
of,
that.
huh?
Yeah, I looked at that building in the background there.
What is that back there? What place is that? It looks familiar.
That's the Wildflower Bed and Breakfast.
Well, it sure is. How about that? Here, let me get in there full. There we go. Yeah, boy, that's a beautiful looking place. I wonder if they serve. You think they serve a good breakfast there? I'm sorry, Gresham, you went off. What would you say?
Oh, I know they do.
All right, that's right. You better say so. Anyway, well, very good.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want to get anyway.
you don't want to get in trouble. That's right. Yeah, you're in big danger of that. The but so tell me about what they about being featured in the magazine this winter.
Well, back I got a message from Lori Free, the editor of the Stone County Leader, who publishes this magazine, and she said, "Stop by the newspaper office. I've got a story idea I want to discuss with you." And I said, "Okay." I figured, she wanted to do something with my photos or something like that. And I go by there. She starts talking about, well, I want to feature several musicians from the area in the next issue of this magazine. but we want to make you the feature story. I'm like, huh? Me? Why me? There's so many wonderful musicians in Mountain View besides me that have been there for a lot longer. A few are mentioned in that magazine, like Wes and Judy Kent. I talked about Wes earlier.
Hmm.
He and Judy are written about in there along with several others. But it was a great honor for me.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I think it's well deserved. Coming up in the Arkansas Country Music Awards, we're going to look at getting you nominated for Bass Player of the Year, but also
Yeah,
Sound Engineer of the Year. And so, uh, but anyway,
we'll see.
we'll see how that goes. So what's next on our list of songs here?
Well, this next video features some longtime friends of mine, Kathy Jensen and Albie Talone and Miss Deanne Garnett. And I moved to Mountain View in 1999, and I met Albie in 2002. And he had
Uh-huh.
lived in Mountain View in the early to mid 90s and then moved away and then came back in 2002. And he and I struck up a very strong friendship. He's been a big mentor to me. But we played in a group with Kathy for a while called the Traveling Blueberries, and that name came from the fact that Kathy's in-laws have a blueberry farm up on Jensen Mountain. And we played together throughout my high school years until about 2010. And then we didn't play together for a long time. We did and in 2015 we got back together for a set at the Folk Center, and we haven't played at all since then. But this past summer we got back together again and did a show at the Meeting Place. And this is one of our songs, one of our upbeat songs that we always like, called "Ain't Nobody Here But Us Chickens." And a lot of people in Stone County have chickens in their backyard.
Right.
Kathy had them at one time in her backyard. It's a funny song that we always like to do.
Yeah,
But
it is a funny song. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a band that goes back almost 2 decades.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie White is. I
In
know he.
fact, Albie and Deanne have known each other since the early '90s.
Oh, wow. Very
Oh yeah, I
cool.
forgot we had Charlie White playing with us for a while, but
Yeah. Well,
he couldn't make this show because he was busy playing with Winona, I think.
that's right. Yeah, he plays for
So he
Winona
didn't have
Judd.
time for us.
Well, you know, I'm sure he gets paid quite a bit of money. So, you know, but anyway, but yeah, good old Charlie White. I sure do like it when he plays. I hadn't got
Oh
to hear
yeah,
him in a while. But anyway, but y'all
he
sounded
is.
really good this night. I really enjoyed the show. So this is Ain't Nobody Here But Us Chickens by the
Yep.
Traveling Blueberries Reunion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, very good. Well, here we go. Let's see if I can get this all straightened out here in one click or two.
One night, Farmer Brown was taking some mare. I locked up the barnyard with the greatest of care. Down in the hen house, something stirred when he shouted, "Who's there?" This is what he heard. Ain't nobody here but us chickens. Ain't nobody here at all. So calm yourself, stop that fuss. Ain't nobody here but us. Chickens trying to sleep, and you butt in and hobble, 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 hobble with your chin. Ain't nobody here but us chickens. Ain't nobody here at all. You're stomping around, making a fuss, kicking up an awful fuss. Chickens chickens. Ain't nobody here at all. So quiet yourself. Stop that fuss. Ain't nobody here but us. Kindly point that gun the other way. And hobble, hobble, hobble off and hit the hay. Hey, Daddy, what do you say? It's easy pickings. Ain't nobody here but us chickens. That's always one of my favorites. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna do. I had a request.
Very cool. Very good. And I love Kathy Jensen's piano playing. She's just amazing.
Oh yeah, she's something else. She was another music group teacher for a long time.
She was. She was in charge of
But
music
she
groups there
doesn't.
for a little while.
She doesn't only play the piano. She played guitar and fiddle as well, and a little bit
Hmm.
of mandolin.
And her daughter Gracie plays the fiddle really well too.
Yeah, that is true.
So, very cool. All right. Well, what's up next on our music list there, Gresham?
What's up next? With Carolina Mendoza.
She's
Carolina
pretty
is a
awesome.
wonderful singer. She's very awesome. I started playing with her 3, 4 years ago, I guess, and we were getting ready for a show one night, and we had this song on the set list. It's "Crazy" by Patsy Cline, and we were rehearsing this, and Carolina came up with the idea of doing it with just her vocals and my bass playing. And I said, "Wow." So I'd never done anything like that often, and we did it, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I think it turned out.
Mainly due to her vocals, not so much my bass playing.
I don't know, boy. Your bass sounds really good on that. And you know what? That bass looks kind of familiar. Is it? It Did you use your bass or did you use my bass?
I don't remember.
I think I did. Here I'm gonna put it up there and we'll see. What do you think?
It's yours.
Ha! I knew it. I knew it. Alrighty, here's Crazy, originally written and performed by Patsy Cline, but performed today on for Club Possum on this day by Carolina Mendoza and Gresham McMillon.
Yep.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew
time to wait for you.
All right. You back?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. All righty. Sorry, I got to get to pushing these buttons right.
Ah,
Anyway, well, uh, I tell you, the Carolina has a beautiful voice. We're so glad to have her
she
play.
does.
And I think, let me look at my calendar here. She will
Yeah, I think
be,
she's our first show this year.
I believe you're correct. Now we
Uh,
do have the
uh,
telethon, but
right.
our first live show is going to be the 22nd of March. That'll be Carolina Mendoza. So
Yep.
that's going to be a great start to the Club Possum season. By the way, for those out there watching, on the 19th, we're having our annual telethon. So we're looking to for all of our patrons to keep your support coming. Thank you so much for tolerating us through the
Oh,
December.
yeah.
You know, we kind of took a little break in December and the first part of January, and but we're fixing to get back working. Kaylee has been doing some planning. We've let Gresham just take his little vacation in Ireland, and we hadn't talked bad about him at all. Just maybe a little bit. They're relaxing in Ireland while we're working like dogs over here. Oh, that's
Well, I
totally
have a
fine.
feeling I'll have a to-do list when I get home.
Oh, that's exactly right. You will have a to-do list when you get home. That's exactly right. And but no, we're getting some stuff going. We're looking forward to having a little bit better camera system. We've
Yeah.
got some other things in the works. We're doing Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights this season because we've had so many people come by and go, "Hey, you have a show going Saturday night?" No, and so we've got a lot of requests, and so we've got some great folks. We're doing some things with um, with the wonderful folks up in Branson. You know, they came down and helped us do a
Yeah.
youth old time band camp, and so we've got some of the groups from up there. Missouri 65 is a
Oh,
great.
they're a great group.
Oh wow, they're
I'm
awesome.
excited about them coming down. I like them.
Yeah, yeah, they'll be coming down, and let me see. I forgot the date. Um,
The 26th, I think, or
you're exactly right. March 26th will be Missouri 65 live at Club Possum. So that we've
first
got
Saturday
some
night. Yeah.
first Saturday night. So yeah, we're so blessed to have them coming down. Alrighty. Let's see. Gresham, what's up next?
This next video features a song that I kind of fell in love with recently called Isle of Hope. And I first heard Dave Smith sing it solo one night at the Million Play. And then he told the story. It's about, it it kind of tells the story of the Ellis Island Immigration Center when they first opened it. And the first person to go through the gates at Ellis Island was a 15-year-old girl from Ireland named Annie Moore. 15 years old,
Hmm.
and it was written by an Irish songwriter named Brendan Graham, I want to say. I'm sorry, I was looking at my phone there. An Irish songwriter after he visited Ellis Island and stood on the pier and all that. And there's a statue of Annie Moore and her siblings there. And, when I heard that song, I started thinking, what? I can't even imagine having to give up everything and everybody I know at 15 years old and take my younger siblings and a little bag of belongings and go to a country I've never been to before.
Right.
And it's crow fly from to my house is 1,000 miles. And I can't imagine traveling that back then on a boat,
Yeah.
on a sailing ship. It takes long enough, it seems like, to get there on a plane in 6 hours.
Right.
And so, it's a wonderful story. And, of course, I'm sitting in Ireland now, and a lot of those people that went through Ellis Island, I think there were 17 million people, and a lot of them were Irish people having to leave because of things like the potato famine and that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's one of those songs that has a powerful story to it, and it's sung, of course, by one of the best vocal group around Mountain View, Harmony. Dave
Absolutely.
Smith and Robert and Mary Dillahan. You know, I first heard Dave sing it solo, but then I heard him sing it with Robert and Mary singing Harmony, and man, I just put it over the top. I think you were there that night too.
Yes.
So I had to throw this one in here kind of as a homage to all my Ireland people.
Yeah, absolutely. I love. This is one of my favorite songs that they do, and
Yeah.
so. All right. Well, we're gonna play. We're gonna play. This is. Um, what's the name of it again, Gresham?
Isle of Hope, Isle of Fear.
Isle of Hope, performed by Harmony. All righty.
Yeah.
Very good. Here we go.
Well, there was a really fine band from Ireland came through Mountain View a few years ago. Played at the Folk Center. I knew their name a little while ago. Paul Brock, the Paul Brock Band. And they were terrific, and they did this great song written by one of their bandmates who went to Ellis Island in New York, which is now a national monument. It's where a lot of our ancestors, and mine for sure, came into the United States.
Mine couldn't.
And that
They wouldn't let them in there.
there's a statue there of the first person that signed the first line on the first roll book there. She was the first one in. And she wrote this song about her and about that life. And think about those people, many from Ireland, of course, and from all over Europe and all over. They left their homes and their families and their farms behind, came to the United States, never really to probably return. And don't you know they had memories of the land that they had left behind? And that's what this is about. It's called Isle of Hope. Oh, yeah. On the first day of January 1892, they opened Ellis Island and they let the people through. And the first to cross the threshold of that Isle of Hope and Tears was Annie Moore from Ireland, who was all of 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of Home is always on your mind. In a little bag she carried all her past and history, dreams of the future in the land of liberty. And courage is a passport when your whole world disappears. And there's no future in the past when you're 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of Home is always on your mind. When they closed down Ellis Island in 1943, 17 million people had come there for sanctuary. And in springtime when I went there and I stepped out on that pier, I wondered how it must have felt when you're 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind.
All right, Gresham.
Oh yeah, I
Buddy,
hear you.
I know it's like what is it? Almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, there's a 6 hour time difference between you and
Yeah.
me.
Well, hey, I want to say thank you for coming and doing this. I know that we've we've
Oh, no problem.
we've had kind of a dry season here for a little bit, but I know some folks were really anxious to hear from you. So, um, speaking of, let's look through some of your pictures. I want to look through some of your Ireland pictures. I
Yeah,
downloaded
let's do
some of
that.
them, and man, they're just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
Um,
that picture that is actually just across the road from my family's bed and breakfast.
oh
You're
wow.
sitting in their dining room. If you're sitting in their dining room, there's a wall of glass windows on one side, and you sit and eat breakfast and look out at that in the morning.
Oh wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah,
Very cool. All right. Well, let's see. There we go. Now this castle
yeah.
is
That is
how.
Ross Castle. That is Ross Castle. It is in Killarney National Park in Killarney, Ireland, about 20-minute drive from where I am, and it actually goes back to the 15th century AD. It was built by a wealthy family. I don't remember their name,
Okay.
but it's now belongs to the government. It's a historical property,
Oh,
and
okay.
I've gone there and visited it several times.
Can you go inside of it?
You can during certain times of the year. I believe it's like March through October.
Oh,
Well, I've
okay.
never been able to go inside of it myself, but
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, very cool.
that's a prime example there of, boy, if these walls could talk. You
Oh,
know?
that is so true. I bet you that there's a bunch of stories there.
Oh
Very
yeah,
cool. Now that's a pretty picture. Sunset or
that is a lake.
sunrise?
Yeah, it was close to sunset, and that's a lake out behind there, and they have boats that take people out on that lake during the summertime.
Oh yeah. I bet this is a photographer's dream. All the
It is. It
landscape and
is.
the mountains. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Now, I saw this and I thought this was really interesting. Where is this at?
Yeah, that is out in Dingle Bay. A friend of mine took me out on his boat, and he called that a sea arch. It's a kind of a gully that eroded back into a cliff
Hmm.
out in the bay, and we pulled the boat up in there a little ways.
Oh, okay.
But it's in Dingle Bay. There's a little town called Dingle at the tip of the Dingle Peninsula.
Dingle?
Dingle, yeah. It's a fishing town.
Yeah. Okay.
Been
Very
there
cool.
for probably 1,000 years.
Oh, okay.
That was a
That's a
that was
pretty
a
horse.
horse in a pasture, couple of couple of pastures down from where my family is. I was walking down the road, and this horse came over to say hello to me.
Oh, very cool.
And of course, me
And
being the big animal lover I am, I had to
you bet.
stop for a minute.
Very cool. That's a little. He's a little shy, a little camera shy. Very cool. I loved this picture. What a great
Yeah,
picture you got here.
that is a place called Glantonasic. It's a wilderness area,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
there's a big lake there, and there's a lake. It's incredible.
Man, that's very pretty. Here's another good
Yeah,
little seascape picture.
yeah. Those islands they have during the summer. My family has a couple of dive boats that take divers out around those islands.
Oh, very cool. All right. Well, excellent, man. I tell you, I know you're having a great time over there, and but we miss you. We sure do
Yeah.
miss you. What's next on our song list?
Well, next up is a young lady we've talked about, Miss Mary Parker and her band, the White River Ramblers.
Mary
She
Parker.
has a
Now that
band.
name sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, she
Man.
has a band with her brother Gordon, and Miss Kaylee Speaks, who we talked about, is actually playing bass in this band. Kaylee plays just about anything with strings on it.
Hmm.
And she has Miss Lillian McCool, who is a former national old time banjo champion.
Yep. youngest ever national banjo
and
clawhammer
she
banjo
has
champion.
Turner Atwell on guitar, and we'll tell you more about him in a little bit. I got another video that features him.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you what, that
But
young man
this is a great gospel song that Mary does called Beulah Land. I mean, it just puts
oh,
goosebumps on you.
oh
And it
yeah,
talks about, we've talked about uh, a Christian myself, and I know you are too. And this talks about
yeah,
the reward or a glimpse of what we're in for when eventually we go home to be with the Lord. And
yeah.
as an old friend, a friend of mine who passed away a year ago this month, named Tom Weir. He was a knife maker at the Folk Center,
Yeah,
and he loved this song. He always requested that Mary play it. And and you met Tom before he died. He was
I did.
a big burly mountain man,
Hmm.
and you thought he was the biggest, toughest guy in the world. But when Mary started singing this song, it made him so emotional
Oh, I
because
bet.
he was a Christian himself, and
Hmm.
like I said, it's called Beulah Land, another name for heaven.
Yeah, very cool.
And
All right.
Mary, I
Yep,
lost my mother in 2014, and Mary's father passed away in 2015.
that's
So
right.
we both have great reunions ahead of us when we get over there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely
So
right. Well, Mary Parker is the little princess of Mountain View. She's just an amazing young lady, and she is so humble.
she
I'm
is,
just amazed at her personality. So all right.
yeah.
So this is that wonderful, uh, beautiful song called Beulah Land, performed by Mary Parker and the White River Ramblers.
I'm kind of homesick for a country to which I've never been before. No sad farewells will there be spoken. Time won't matter anymore. Beulah land, I'm longing for you. Some sweet day on the outskirts, and there my home shall be eternal. Beulah land, sweet Beulah land. I'm looking out across the river to where my faith will end inside. Just a few more days to labor, and then I'll reach my heavenly flight. Beulah land, I'm longing for you. And some sweet day on the outskirts, and there my home shall be eternal. Beulah some songs talking about.
Sorry about that. I got to do this buttons
It's
in
okay.
the right order. But
Yeah.
anyway, well, very cool. I do love that song. I really do. All right, what's next on our list there, Gresham?
Well, next features another person who is no longer with us anymore. We talked about too many of them, but this is somebody that I sorely miss, and I know you do too. His name is Virgil
Do
Brawley. And Virgil was a blues musician from down around Jackson, Mississippi, and he retired to Mountain View, and he was becoming a pretty well known and much loved part of the Mountain View music scene, and he passed away suddenly one night in June of 2018. And he was, for the first couple of years, he was a very regular Club Possum performer, both on his own, and he had an acoustic blues trio with Albie Talone and myself called Flat Broke. And I really enjoyed playing with him. I kind of, sometimes I feel robbed because I only got to play with him 2 or 3 years, but Virgil was a Christian as well, so he's in a much better place now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so I felt only appropriate we needed to pay tribute to him, and this is a song that he sang about Arkansas. And Virgil actually, just in the last couple of years, has received a marker in his honor on the Mississippi Blues Trail.
Yeah, I was
And
very honored. Yeah, go ahead.
when I met Virgil, I knew he was a great musician, and Albie said, he played a lot back in Mississippi, but after he died, Albie and I had the honor of going down to Mississippi and playing at a tribute concert to him after his funeral service. And the concert lasted about 3.5 hours.
Wow.
And they still didn't get everybody on stage that showed up wanting to play.
Well, he has left his
And I was just
legacy with a lot of
I was
people.
just I was just amazed at all the people that were there.
He has
Because
really
I'd never
really influenced a lot of people, myself included. I had never been
yeah,
um, kind of like when before I moved to Mountain View, I never was a big fan of bluegrass old time and all that. I was pretty much hardcore heavy metal in the '90s, and I tell you, I just fell in love with the genres. And then when I heard Vi- um, Virgil do it live, I was just like, this Delta blues is just absolutely amazing. And
yeah,
I do miss him, and I know he's up in heaven teaching angels how to sing
yeah.
hymns in Delta blues style. So, but he's a great man. We all miss him very much. So
Oh yeah.
this is Virgil Brawley and Flat Broke. What song are they playing?
The song called Arkansas, appropriately enough.
That's right. All righty. Well, we're going to play it right now.
Give me some guitar, Chris. Well, the rain and the thunder come rolling in. You never feel like you're gonna be dry again. You're down in Arkansas, backwoods in Arkansas. Dirt roads in Arkansas, hard luck's your only friend. You're sleeping out in the woods, can't go home. If it wasn't for them hungry, you'd be all alone. You're in Arkansas. You're down in Arkansas. Backwoods in Arkansas. Hard luck's your only friend. You whooping a slow mule under a cotton sky. That ain't no way to live. It ain't no way to die. You in Arkansas. You way down in Arkansas. All backwoods in Arkansas. Hard luck show on the well, you fight with your papa cause you fit for your mom. That's how you get the blues in Arkansas. In Arkansas. Way down in Arkansas. Backwoods in Arkansas. Hard luck's your only friend. All right then. Got that one out of the way. Give me just a little bit in the monitor, Chris.
Very cool. Man, I
And you
tell
know
you,
that
that guy
actually,
was just absolutely amazing. I really do miss him, and I
and
hope.
looking at that video, that actually wound up being one of the last shows, or if not the last show I ever played with Virgil,
Yeah,
at least at the meeting place.
I went to see him. Me and a couple friends went to see him when he played at South on Main with
Oh yeah, Silamo Trio,
Silamo Trio.
Silamo Trio.
And man, they put on a show, and I'm so glad I
I
got to
know
see
that was
him.
more.
I think it was his last performance there, but yeah, that was more.
That was their electric, and that
Yeah,
Albie played electric bass. I think Darren Dorton played drum.
yeah,
The
and
music
then
director was both singers. So
golly,
that was
and then there was another guy who Mark. Oh, I can't remember his name. Phenomenal guitar player, very well
Mark
known.
Mark Bayou, wasn't it?
But that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. And
Yeah,
boy, what a show! They just did a great job. They just did a great job.
yeah.
Alrighty, what's up next?
What's up next? Well, we were talking a little bit about Turner Atwell earlier, and I've got a clip from a show he did. It was actually, we talked to him for a long time about. Well, let me back up a little bit. Turner moved to Mountain View in 2018 with his parents and became part of the music group program.
Hmm.
And I met him. He had just started to play guitar, hadn't even started singing yet, and he was getting pretty good. And he came from a musical background. His mother grew up singing in a quartet with her parents, Southern Gospel Quartet with her parents. And anyway, I started seeing Turner sitting in with other groups on the square, and he started getting better and better.
Hmm.
And then one night on the square, he started singing, like out of the clear blue. And I mean, my mouth just dropped open. And I looked at his mom and I said, "Where did that come from?" Because I'd never heard him sing before. Anyway, over the years, he just gotten better and better. And he studied a lot of the well-known guitar players like Tony Rife and those guys. Tony Rife primarily he studied. And he's become one of the most phenomenal musicians that I've ever been around in Mountain View. And this is a clip from his first solo show at the Mini Place, or a show he did on his own. But he had 4 Nashville musicians sitting with him. And he had Britt Curry, who played fiddle for people like Alan Jackson and George Strait and people like that in Nashville, and Tim Crouch, who has played with many, many people on the Grand Ole Opry, and the same goes with Earl Heath on bass. That's 4 or 3 Nashville musicians he had playing with him that night, and he had Justin Maynard on banjo, who was also a good musician. But
Yeah.
that's been one of my favorite shows at the Meeting Place, and it probably will never be repeated.
Well, I hope so.
And
I
it
hope
was,
we can get all these folks back at
and
some
it was
point. But yeah,
hopefully,
it
but
was a
it was
great
one of
show.
those shows that sticks in your mind, and I think it was one of the first full houses we had after the big COVID pandemic and all that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it was
there's
a
this
great show.
Turner doing a show called a song called Jimsine Sullivan. It was one that Tony Rice did quite a bit, and it's not a simple song to play. It's very complicated because I've played bass to it a few times, and Turner really does a heck of a job on this one.
Very cool. All right, so this is Ginseng Sullivan, performed by Turner Atwell and Friends.
Yep.
Ginseng Sullivan. About 3 miles from the Battail Yard, the river's curve on down. Not far south from the town depot, Sullivan's shack was found. Back on the higher ground. Oh, you could see him every day, walking down the line, with an old brown sack across his back and his long hair down behind, speaking his worried mind. It's a long way from the Delta to the North Georgia hill, and a coat sack full of ginseng, made old gravel wheel. I'm too old to ride the rail, I'll dump the road alone, but I guess I'll never make it back to home. My money wanna miss the Delta home. Well, the winter's here, they get too cold. The damp, it makes me ill. Can't dig no roots in the mountainside when the ground goes hard as steel. Gotta stay at the foot of the hill. But next summer when things turn bright, I mean we'll pay high. And I'll have enough money to pay my bills and bid these mountains goodbye. Then he said goodbye. It's a long way from the Delta to the North Georgia hill, and a coat sack full of ginseng, made old gravel wheel. I'm too old to ride the rail, I'll bump the road alone, but I guess I'll never make it back to home. My money wanna miss the Delta home. It's a long way from the Delta to the North Georgia hill, and a coat sack full of ginseng, made old gravel wheel. I'm too old to ride the rail, I'll dump the road alone, but I guess I'll never make it back to home. My money wanna miss the Delta home. My money wanna miss the Delta home.
All right, boy, we're gonna have to look out for that young man. He is definitely
Yeah,
an up and coming star. So,
yeah,
well, Gresham, I think one of the most amazing things about you is that you have to struggle with some different things that most normal people don't have to struggle with.
yeah.
And I know some people, when people meet you for the first time, they're like, "Man, that guy's real nice," but he kind of wouldn't meet my eye, or different little things, and people don't they kind of want to ask, but they don't want to ask. But I've
Right,
found
right.
that you're actually very comfortable talking about your autism,
Well, yeah,
and so
I am. Yeah, I do that because there's still a lot of people that don't understand autistic people. They misunderstand them and they're mistreated because of that. So I want people to know about it
yeah, and I think
because
that's very good.
autism has different severities. My autism is very high functioning, but there are types of autism that are so severe the people that live with it are not able to speak or function on a high level. You know, They may be very, very sensitive to loud sounds and overreact to it, and people think they're misbehaving. You know, the list goes on and on.
So if say I meet someone who is autistic, what are some things that I can do to make that autistic person a little more comfortable?
Treat them just like you would anybody else.
Yep. Okay.
You know, treat them just like you would anybody else. Don't treat them like they're different or less or
Yeah.
slower. Because, and don't treat them like they have it. A lot of people think autism is a disease or it's a psychological disorder, and it's not.
Hmm.
Autism is a neurological disorder, and what that basically means is my brain is wired a little bit differently from somebody who is not autistic, or there's a term that's been coined in the past decade, I would say, for people who are not autistic, and that is neurotypical.
Hmm.
So, Chris, you would be neurotypical. Well, I am not because I'm autistic.
I think my wife would
Because
very much disagree with you on that, but
because my brain is wired a little bit differently. I have had to learn something differently than other people,
right, right.
or a little bit slower. I have a younger brother who's 15 months younger than me, but he reached milestones before I did. He learned how to ride a bike with that training wheel before I did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I would tell you, Grisham.
And
I go ahead.
I do have a driver's license, but there are some areas I like on interstates and that kind of thing. I generally don't drive on interstates because I can't process quick enough to drive on an interstate.
It's kind of
You have to be able to think,
overstimulation.
yeah, all those cars and all that. Yeah, I did it a couple times. It was
Hmm.
very overwhelming.
Yeah. All right.
Now, driving around Mount View and that kind of thing, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And on the two-lane highways, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell
You
you
know,
this, Gresham. I am just I'm always overwhelmed by the competency that you have for what you do for me.
well,
And I know, and if you're watching this for the first time, Gresham does work for the Mountain View Meeting Place. He does the sound and the broadcast engineering, and he does a great job. And
well, not only
um,
that, but I also worked at the Wildflower too in the kitchen with him.
no, that's true. Yeah, and don't
So
forget
that's
that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
something new I'll be getting into this next year.
That's true. Well, and in addition to that, you volunteer at the Humane Society when they
Yeah,
are able to have volunteers. You play music at the Ozark Folk Center. You help.
I have been a musician. I played at the Folk Center. I believe I just finished my 21st season. Had it not been for COVID shutting down one season, it would have been my 22nd.
Yeah.
I started
Wow.
playing at the Folk Center in 2000.
Wow. That's that's pretty amazing.
Well,
And I've always been super impressed. But you also do some volunteer where you help your church cook for Wednesday night
I do.
suppers. You have gone out to help West Kent in doing disaster relief.
I
Uh,
do. I have, for the past several years, I've been a trained volunteer with the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. I've done one deployment, what we call them. I went to New York right about a month after Hurricane Sandy, or Superstorm Sandy as they called it. Spent 10 days over Thanksgiving week serving,
mhm.
preparing meals for the storm victims there. And I think we did on average 10,000 meals a day. And I think we did 8,000 on Thanksgiving
Wow,
Day.
that's pretty amazing. Wow, very cool. So you think you can?
Yeah,
So you think you can handle that small kitchen duty that I've got for you?
I think so.
No,
Well,
I think you can. But if you're going to
yeah.
help feed 8,000, I think my little kitchen will be just fine for you. Well, I'll tell you what,
Well,
I do appreciate you. I'm glad you're part of our team here, and I'm looking forward to a great 2022.
oh, me too.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, Gresham, what's next on our song list?
Well, next is another well-known territory around Mountain View that's been around Mountain View for probably 45 years or so, and that's Don Mellon, also known as Pappy Mellon. Uh, Don and his wife Susie came to Mountain View in the early 70s, I want to say. And Don became a well-known, and still is a well-known musician around Mountain View. Played for many years with a group called the River Rats. That was himself and Mr. Colmer Moon Mullins and Don Brickshy Jones. And Moon and Brickshy were wonderful musicians, and I love them both. And they're both passed away now, but Don's still around. Don also had a stroke in 2019, and he was kind of out of commission for quite a while. But in the last year or so, he's gotten to where he can play guitar and sing again. And this next video, I believe, was the first time he sang and played on stage since he had a stroke.
I believe that's right.
And I've always loved Don. He was a good Christian man, and he's another one that's always encouraged the young people around Mountain View. He about 30 years ago, he built a store out on Highway 5 called Mellon's Country Store,
Mm-hmm.
and he sold the store and retired from running that about 7 or 8 years ago. But it's under new ownership now and still running, so go by and visit that store if you've never been there. Don had a little music theater there himself for a few years called the Hole in the Wall Theater, and I played there. But anyway,
Yeah. I got to
and
play
Don,
for there for a couple times.
yeah, and Don was a regular performer at the meeting place during the
Yes, he
first two
was.
seasons as well.
He did. He showed up to help us, really get things going. He and Billy Martin. I actually got to play a couple shows with he and Billy, and I got to play a couple
Yeah,
shows
that's true.
with he and Billy and our mayor Roger
And
Gardner too.
Mayor Roger Gardner,
That
yeah.
was man, that was a lot of fun. I couldn't believe they asked me to play with them, but I had so much fun. It was a great time. Really enjoyed that. And,
But Don worked with a lot of people, and Don actually worked with Grandpa Jones. Grandpa was a famous, very well-known old-time banjo player on the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
He's a member of the Grand Ole Opry, and he and his family actually lived in Mountain View in the 1980s and the early 90s.
mhm.
They had a dinner theater right across the highway from the Dulcimer shop, and Don actually played there for several years
Yeah, yeah,
with
man, he's
Grandpa and Ramona. And
very cool. Well, we're gonna play his song. Well, what song is he playing? This song
uh,
he's doing.
Nobody knows you when you're down and out. Another old blues song.
Yep, very cool. All right, so this is Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out, performed by Pappy Mellon, along with Pam Setzer, Becky, and Kent Coffey.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I'm not going to let a stroke stop me.
That's right. Can't
Okay?
Yeah.
It's a song from back about 1930. Bessie Smith. It's called Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. Once I lived the life of a millionaire. Spent all my money, Lord, I just didn't care. Took all my friends out for mighty good time. Bought bootleg liquor, champagne and wine. Then I began to fall so low. Lost all my good friends, had nowhere to go. if I get my hand on $1 again, I'm gonna squeeze it till that old eagle grins. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. In your pocket, you ain't got one penny. As for a good friend, you don't have any. Think it, kid. Then I got back on my old feet again. Everybody wants to be old Mellon's long lost friend. I know it's a shame without any doubt. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Don Mellon, Pappy Mellon.
Thank you. Pam, do you know what the
There we go. Well, man, that is a unique individual. They broke the mold
He
when
is,
they made
definitely.
him. And boy, he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's not only helped out the music community here in town. He's also helped out a lot of businesses. He helped start Bean Fest, which is a great festival here in Mountain View. He's just
Oh,
really
yeah.
been an ambassador for Mountain View for many, many years, and I'm glad that I've gotten to know him.
Yeah, he's been a good fishing buddy of mine, too, over the years.
Very cool. All righty, what's next, Gresham?
Let's see, next we have a good friend of mine named James Clinkenbeard. James is plays guitar, and he plays the Merle Travis thumb picking style. And he grew up just across the river in Calico Rock in Izard County. As James puts it, I'm a hillbilly from over in Izard County. And James's grandparents ran a general store on Main Street in Calico for years and years and years. Matter of fact, I bought a pair of boots from his grandpa that I still have. But James won the Merle Travis National Thumb Picking Guitar Contest at the Folk Center a couple of times back in the 1990. And like a lot of other people, he left the Folk Center and did other things for several years. And about 6 or 7 years ago, he came back and started playing at the Folk Center again. And I became acquainted with him. And back last year, I was playing daytime with him at the Folk Center one day and got a message from Taylor saying, hey, we need a band at for the meeting place next Tuesday night. Do you have any ideas? So I asked James, said, hey, James, you want to play at the meeting place next Tuesday night? He said, yeah, sure, I'll play. So he came, and he took half the show, and the other half was taken that night by Miss Kathy Jensen, and we got together at the last minute on this song, and we also had Mr. Keith Samanowitz playing little percussion, singing lead on this one. It's called Make Me a Pallet on Your Floor.
I love this song, and I love this
Yeah,
version of it too. You know, George Halsey does like this slowed down version of it, but
he
that's not the
does, yeah.
original version of it.
No.
This is more around what the original is. So very good. All
Yeah.
right, so this is Lay a Pallet on Your Floor, performed by James Clinkenbeard, along with Keith Samanowitz, Gresham McMillon, and Kathy Jensen.
been sleeping, my back and shoulders are tired. The way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders are tired. You know the way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders are tired. I'm gonna turn off, try the other side. Won't you make me down, pounding on your floor? Make me down, pounding on your floor. Make me pounding down, something old, yes. Make me pounding on your floor. Kathy, make one with you. Yeah. Give it up for Kathy, will you? Well, I'm going up the country, baby, do you wanna go? Going up the country in the cold, the rain and snow. You know, going up the country in the cold, the rain and snow. No telling how far I may go. Won't you make me down, padding on your floor? Make me down, padding on your floor. Make me a padding down, something old, yes, sir. Make me a padding on your floor. Give him some Gresham, go on. The way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders are tired. The way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders are tired. You know the way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders are tired. I'm gonna turn over, try on the other side. Make me down, padding on your floor. Make me down, padding on your floor. Make me a padding down, something old, yeah. Make me a padding on your floor. Make me a padding on something old, yes. Make me a padding on your floor.
Hey, Keith.
Oh, wrong order. Oh well. All right. Yeah, man, I love that song, and well, what a great little jazzy piano behind that. Uh, those vocals. And I used to introduce Keith as the soul man of the Ozarks because he's just got that bluesy soul voice,
Yeah.
and man, I do kind of miss hearing him sing a bit. So, all right. Well, we're Gresham. We're almost done. We are almost home, buddy. Stay awake. Stay with me. Just one more.
Oh,
Just one more. All
oh,
right.
I'm good.
What are we gonna finish up here with, Gresham?
Well, we're finishing up with one more gospel song by none other than Miss Pam Setzer. You know, Pam is another one of those that been well known in Mountain View for years and years and years. In fact, she's lived in Mountain View her entire life. And her father, Tommy Simmons, was the mayor of Mountain View back in the 60s, and he was actually the first superintendent at the Ozark Folk Center. You know,
I,
Pam and her family go way
yeah.
back in Mountain View, and Pam does a lot to promote live music in Mountain View and the meeting place. In fact, Pam hosts her own show on Friday nights at the meeting place during the season, the Pam Setzer Show. And I'm assuming she's going to be doing that again this year. At least I hope so.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I
And
know
this
that
is,
they. Go ahead.
oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I know that uh, Tommy and Gene and um, Pam, they all went. They went to Hee Haw. They went to the Hee Haw Studios and played on a
They
Hee Haw
did, yeah.
episode.
And they were good friends with Grandpa Jones, who was
That's right.
on that show a lot.
Yep. Yep. And so they. I know Gene, the large green room in the Ozark Folk Center. The Ozark
Mm.
Highlands Theater is named has Gene Simmons' name on it. So
Yeah, Gene Simmons Jennings. Yeah, Gene was very active in promoting the folk center when she was alive. And
yeah,
I believe she was a member of the Committee of 100
I believe that's right.
when she was alive.
Do you know who the new chairperson is for the Committee of 100? Pam
Is it
Setzer.
Pam?
Yes, it
I'm
is.
not
Yes,
surprised
it is.
because Pam's been active with them. The Committee of 100 is a group of ladies that has been a big supporter of the folk center for years and years and years, and also the music group program.
Yeah, yeah. And so she's a very big supporter of
Yeah,
Mountain View music, Mountain View business, small businesses. She's just a very charitable woman, and everybody
yeah,
just loves her. So this is going to be a great song to end with. And so what's the
yeah. You
name?
know,
Go ahead.
well, this is a song that I did with Pam. I had the honor of doing a couple of Club Possum shows with Pam, and the first one I did with her was very, very, very last minute. And we had
You're
a
right.
mix up, and we had a performer that couldn't make it in, and we didn't find out until 5 minutes till showtime. So we called Pam, and she agreed to come play the show, and it was just me and her with no practice. And then Pam said, "Gresham, we need to do another when we actually have time to practice." And Pam sang
Yeah.
this song, and it's called God on the Mountain. It talks about,
Hmm.
no matter how rough things get, if you're a follower of Jesus Christ, no matter how rough things get, and no matter if you're down on the valley or you're up on the mountain, He's still God. He's still the same. And
That's
nothing
right.
will separate you from Him. And actually, the Bible says in Romans chapter 8, verse 38, it says, "For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor any other created thing will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Jesus Christ our Lord." There's a lot of people going through a lot of tough things these days, especially with the COVID pandemic and all that.
Hmm.
And there's when I came to Ireland, it's the first time I've seen my Irish family in a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
There's people struggling with a lot of things, but there's one thing you can hold tight to if you're a Christian.
Yeah. You're exactly right, Gresham.
And
Great verse.
says, this song says that very clearly. This is actually the first time Pam had ever sang that song was that night. Somebody requested it,
Yeah, I think it was
but
Penny. Penny,
Penny
work.
Brickman, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, one of our big supporters there.
Big supporters. Yeah. Very cool.
But
Oh, well, all right. Well, I think this was an excellent choice. I couldn't have picked a better song to go out on. And so thank you, Gresham. And we're going to play this song and we'll come back and tell everybody bye. So this is
okay,
uh, God on the Mountain, performed by
huh?
Pam and Gresham.
Okay, I'm almost done. Okay.
Are you being loud?
accidentally.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, we're almost done. All righty. Here's God on the Mountain performed by Gresham and Pam.
Life is easy when you're up on the mountain and you've got peace of mind like you've never known. But things change when you're down in the valley. Don't lose faith, for you're never alone. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, He'll make them right. And the God of the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. You talk of faith when you're up on the mountain. The talk comes so easy when life's at its best. Now it's down in the my valley of trials and temptations. That's where your faith is really put to the test. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, He'll make it right. And the God of the good times is still God of the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. The God of the day is still God in the night.
Wow, that's what a powerful song that is.
Yeah, it is.
So, oh, there we go. Sorry about that. All righty, Gresham, did you have to go find a place to hide?
Yeah,
Well, it's like what 2 o'clock in the morning there.
pretty close.
Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing this live stream with me tonight. And thank you so much for, coming on and sharing some of your favorites with us. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your time there in Ireland. Excuse me. And have a safe trip home.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, everybody who's watched. We really appreciate you. Next week, Kaylee and I are going to do a live stream where we do look at some of our Arkansas Country Music Award nominees. So until then, we will see you another time. See you
Yep.
later, Gresham.
See you, Chris.